guys. We are streaming on all.
Facebook's up.
Perfect. Let's share that, guys. Welcome back. Week 7 NFL Fantasy Talk. Yeah. Another week.
Yeah.
Some more discussion. My mind's a little foggy right now. Had a night last night. But yeah, here we are, and we're about to go live, talk some football, and go from there, guys. Welcome back. Gonna pull the injury reports here.
Oh, let me share before I forget later.
I mean, right before we jumped on here, we did discuss there's at least 3 wide receivers on the market in terms of players that are possibly going to get traded this week. Brandon Cooks, Jerry Jeudy, and Chase Claypool. The team's taking calls on all 3 of those guys.
I feel like Brandon Cooks is always on the market.
Yeah, which is weird because they always end up extending him. I mean, he's been on how many teams? So, excuse me. How many has he been on?
At least
Is this his 4th or his 5th?
4th, because he was with the
New England.
New England. He was with the Rams.
And the Saints drafted him.
Saints, and then now the Texans.
I don't know. I felt like there were. Okay, so yeah. Literally just reported here. He's been traded 3 times so far in his career. Saints to the Pats, Pats to the Rams, Rams to the Texans. But no, this week, guys, the Cardinals, they played on Thursday, so I guess we don't have to really discuss them. Okay. The Falcons, they play this week. Jared Bernhardt, wide receiver, he is on the IR with a groin injury. D. Alford, cornerback, he's out with a hamstring. Casey Hayward, cornerback, he went to the IR with a shoulder. The Baltimore Ravens, they play the Browns. Rashad Bateman's questionable today. Mark Andrews is questionable but expected to go with a knee injury. Ronnie Stanley is questionable with an illness. They didn't say what the illness is. They didn't say it was an injury. He popped up late on the injury report with an illness. So
they haven't been having COVID problems this year, so I don't know if they're still saying COVID or if they're just using illness as COVID.
They might be. To be fair, I think at this point it's just kind of something where if it happens, you might not even be aware at this point.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if they're still testing or not.
Also true. J.K. Dobbin went to the IR. Obviously, you asked that question. You have him in a different league. You cut him, I believe, right?
Yeah, I cut him. We don't have an IR spot. And I already have Dak, Jonathan Taylor, and Naeem Hines hurt.
Marcus Peters, questionable. Justin Houston, questionable. The groin. Patrick Ricard, questionable. Charlie Kohler, rookie tight end, is being designated a return from the IR. Ben Cleveland is questionable. Morgan Moses, questionable. David Ojabo is out with his Achilles. Still, but they said they're very impressed with his recovery at this point. Carolina Panthers defensive end Henry Anderson's out. J.C. Horn is questionable with rib injury. Dante Jackson questionable with an ankle. Pat Elflein, guard, is on IR. C.J. Henderson, cornerback, is questionable with a concussion. Wide receiver Laviska Shenault, questionable with a hamstring. Fox Rainey's team needs a miracle, per his Facebook comment. Matt Ioannidis, defensive tackle, is doubtful with a neck and concussion issue. Baker Mayfield, doubtful with his ankle injury. Frankie Louvu, questionable. Matt Corral is no longer in a walking boot after his surgery.
Good to hear.
Taylor Moton, offensive tackle, is questionable. Sean Chandler, safety, is questionable. Chicago Bears, Alex Leatherwood is out. Bears, do the Bears play this week? Yeah, the Bears play Monday against New England. Alex Leatherwood's still out. Matthew Adam, linebacker, he's on the IR with a calf injury. Jalen Johnson, their starting cornerback, their top cornerback, he's out again with a quad. I can't stop yawning.
Yeah.
Cincinnati Bengals, they have Atlanta this week. Josh Tapua is out with a calf. Jeff Gunter out with a knee. Wide receiver Stanley Morgan is doubtful with a hamstring. Logan Wilson, linebacker, is out with a shoulder. Drew Sample, tight end, is out or still on injured reserve. Cleveland Browns starting guard Wyatt Teller is out with a calf. Former Buffalo Bill. That dude spent a lot of money on Taco Bell when we drafted him.
Oh, yeah.
Good morning, OG Joe Lee. How are you today? The OG Joe Lee is on our Facebook at The Grill Master, or on our YouTube at The Grill Master. Joe Hage is out with a concussion again. Isaac Rochelle, questionable. Jadeveon Clowney, questionable. Denzel Ward out with a concussion. Cleveland a little banged up.
Yeah, Cleveland's banged up, and I don't think they get Deshaun Watson back till...
Week 11, I thought.
11, yeah.
Dallas Cowboys, Matt Waletzko is on IR. Terrell Basham is on IR with a thigh injury. He's designated to return. Excuse me. James Washington says he feels like he's healed, but he's not being brought off the IR yet. Simi Fehoko placed on the IR. Other than that, Dallas is pretty healthy. Couple injuries here and there, but Denver Broncos, obviously the big one of the day. Russ Wilson is not starting today.
Nope, it's Ripien or Ripien.
Brett Ripien.
Yeah.
Brett Ripien to start today. Nephew of Mark, I believe. I think it's his nephew. I don't think it's his kid. Aaron Patrick, linebacker, on the IR with a knee injury. Caden Stearns, safety, is doubtful. DJ Jones, defensive tackle, is questionable. Linebacker Josie Jewell is questionable with a knee. Deshaun Williams, questionable. Quinn Miners, questionable. Asang Basie, cornerback, he's out out for some time with a hamstring, they said. Yeah, Denver is just not only having a really bad year, but really banged up.
Yep.
Yeah, pretty banged up.
Ooh.
Did they say how long Russell Wilson's out for?
They're expecting 1 or 2 weeks. Big news of the day. They're not expecting running back DeAndre Swift to play today.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to make sure I don't have him in any leagues.
I don't. I know I don't.
I can check my other leagues after this, but don't have him in FanDuel. That's the most important thing. Yeah, DeAndre Swift, shoulder officially listed as questionable, is unlikely to play Sunday against the Cowboys. Bobby Price, cornerback, is on the IR. DJ Chark has been placed in the IR.
I saw that, yeah.
So Chark is officially done for 4 weeks now.
Yeah, they said minimum 4 weeks.
Matt Nelson, offensive tackle, is out with a calf. Cornerback Afedi Melifonwu is out with an ankle. Linebacker Charles Harris is out with a groin. Josh Reynolds, questionable with a knee. Chris Board is questionable as well, linebacker. Jameson Williams still looking at an extended stay on his IR list. Defensive end Levi Unwuzorek is going to miss the remainder of the season after back surgery as well. Detroit popping up a lot of injuries at the worst possible time here. They've looked like a strong team. Wide receiver Sammy Watkins, though, he's back.
Yeah, he's back, so maybe he'll get some big plays in there.
Good for Rodgers.
I mean, his last game, he was 3 catches on 4 targets for 93 yards. It's got to bring some type of a spark. I mean, considering Christian Watson is out and so is Randall Cobb. Randall Cobb went to the IR with an ankle injury, and Frank is panicking. Tipa Galea, linebackers on the IR. David Bakhtiari, offensive tackle. He is questionable with a knee. Jake Hansen, center, has been placed in the IR. That's their backup center, though. Devontae Wyatt, defensive tackle, is questionable. Running back Kylan Hill has been designated to return from the IR. I think it's really about it for Green Bay, but Green Bay's really not healthy at this point in time. Houston Texans, Chris Moore's questionable. Brevin Jordan, questionable with his ankle injury. Tegan Quanturiano, designated for return, the tight end. I've never even heard of him, quite honestly. feel like Houston's just got a boatload of random tight ends. Defensive end Jonathan Grenard was placed in the IR. Indianapolis Colts, we're just going to keep going down the list here. Linebacker JoJo Doman, he's out with an abdominal injury. Shaq Leonard out yet again with concussion, nose and back injuries. Kiki Kute, I didn't even know he was still in the league.
Oh, no.
He's
Wasn't
out.
he with Arizona for a while?
He was with Houston forever. He's out with a concussion. Defensive end Kwity Paye is out with an ankle. Like Indy is just falling apart. Wide receiver Aston Doolin is out with a foot injury. Is expected to return this season, but long term for that injury. Jacksonville, Marvin Jones Jr. questionable with a hamstring. Cornerback Shaq Griffin is out with a back injury. Wide receiver Jamal Agnew is out with a knee injury. Defensive tackle Falaransu Fedekasi is...
Somebody said something. I think there's two. I can't...
Sean Stein, listening while at work. Love you guys. Thanks, Sean.
Yes, thanks, Sean.
Thank you.
Love hearing from Sean. Sean's a good guy, good friend. Joseph Lee, Watkins is a bum, but he is all Rodgers has. Frank, that ship is sinking and the cheese looks like it has very bad mold growing on it, and it doesn't smell like blue cheese.
Yeah.
Listen, Frank's going to be at the Ralph Wilson Stadium next week with an ugly-ass yellow foam block of cheese on his head screaming at Bills fans. And I will not be shocked.
He might not make it home.
I will not be shocked on Monday morning when Frank shows up at the haunted house with a black eye. I told him.
Someone stole my cheese.
Someone stole my cheese.
First my
Was it
4
sauce?
bikes. First my 4 different bikes, and now my cheese.
Was it sauce, though?
I heard it was from Monday.
No, I thought it was Gardner. Sauce Gardner. That was funny.
That was hilarious.
That was hilarious.
And he had no clue how to respond to that because he also likes the Jets. So he's like, I don't know if I can
That was
hate
funny.
that as much. And I'm like, dude, I love Sauce Gardner. I'm not supposed to like the Jets, but I love
That
Sauce
was
Gardner.
funny.
Yeah, but I'm not going to be shocked if he shows up for Halloween with a black eye. Because,
I wouldn't be.
Because he's stupid. Yeah. Kansas City. Rashad Fenton out again with the hamstring injury. Guard Joe Thuney, questionable. Mike Dana, defensive end, questionable. Blake Bell is still in the IR, expected to return after the bye week. The Raiders, Hunter Renfrow. He is questionable with his hip injury. Expected to shoot up, though. Wide receiver Mac Hollins, questionable with a heel. Linebacker Jayon Brown, questionable with a hamstring. Tight end Darren Waller is out this week with a hamstring injury. I guess the fact that I don't own Darren Waller in any leagues goes to prove here because I did not know that. I didn't know he was even hurt. And cornerback Nate Hobbs is on the IR with hand. Chargers, Keenan Allen, hamstring, is going to see how he feels pregame, but might play this week. Running back Joshua Kelly placed on the IR with a knee injury. Defensive tackle Sebastian Joseph Day, questionable with an ankle. Wide receiver Joshua Palmer out with a concussion. Tight end Donald Parham Jr. out with a concussion. Kicker Dustin Hopkins out with his hamstring injury. Will miss 2 to 4 weeks. The Rams. Did the Rams play this week? Rams are on a bye this week.
Yeah.
The Dolphins. Cornerback Keon Crossan, doubtful to play with a knee. Tackle Teron Armstead, questionable with a toe. Cornerback Xavier Howard, questionable with a groin. Skylar Thompson, quarterback, he's questionable with a thumb. Tight end Durham Smith, questionable with a hamstring. Wide receiver Jalen Waddle, questionable with a shoulder.
He'll play.
He practiced at least somewhat this week. Defensive end Emmanuel Agba, questionable with a back injury. Offensive tackle Greg Little and defensive tackle Christian Grab the Dick Wilkins are both questionable. That's all he did against Josh was grab dick.
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't he known for that
In college too.
So
Cornerback Nick Needham was placed in the IR with an Achilles. Linebacker Trey Flowers placed in the IR with a foot injury. Cornerback Kader Kahu, questionable. Miami's finally catching up to us, man. They're very banged up right now. Minnesota Vikings. They are also on a bye. New England Patriots. They play Monday night. Mac Jones is pointing towards playing already.
Oh, Bailey Zappies look so good.
Yeah, but that might be the final straw. If Jones comes out and looks flat against Chicago, that might be the Bailey Zappi show.
Yeah.
Benched and zapped. Lawrence Guy, defensive end, is questionable with a shoulder. Sean Wade, Afrene Jennings, Kendrick Bourne, Nelson Aguilar, Jalen Mills, Isaiah Wynn, Mike Onwenu, Josh Uche, Jonathan Jones, Christian Barmore are all questionable. I'm not even like that's the extent they get. They just get listed as questionable because Bill likes to just put everybody on this list. Excuse me. The New Orleans Saints played already this week. They just can't get healthy, man.
Yeah, I know.
Michael Thomas is a fraud.
I know.
When he plays, he's great, but he's
made of glass.
He's the guy from SpongeBob. Every morning, I break my legs.
My bones are made of glass.
And my skin is made of paper. That's Michael Thomas to a T. The New York Giants, not good news for the Giants. Top edge rusher Azeez Ojulari placed in the IR with a calf injury. He will miss at least 4 games. Cornerback Cordell Flott out of LSU. He's out with a calf injury. I don't know why I know that.
Yeah.
We cover too much draft stuff. O'Shane Zymes. I want to say he was out of Old Dominion. He's out with a quad injury. Kenny Galladay out again with a knee injury. Kadarius Toney out again with a hamstring injury. Kadarius Toney also falls into that made of glass category.
It sounds like the Giants last year.
John Feliciano is questionable. Heard it's from being a big pussy. Jason Pinnock, cornerback, is questionable. Tony Jefferson, safety, is on the IR with a foot injury. DJ Davidson, defensive tackle, is also placed on the IR with a knee injury. The New York Jets, Jermaine Johnson, defensive end, he's out with an ankle injury. That was like their first round pick last year, right? Do we know if he's good at all?
Haven't heard much about him, so.
I saw the name and was like, who is he?
I guess no news is good news?
He has 1.5 sacks so far this year. Oh, he's a rookie this year. Yeah, that's a kid out of Florida State. We didn't really love him.
Mm-mm. I was thinking of somebody else.
Elijah Moore is out. This is the weirder situation I've ever seen. They're benching him to bench him. Like, all right, he's not playing today. They said trading him's not an option.
That only makes it worse, in my opinion.
Trading him's not an option, but they're not starting him today. Yes, they're keeping him out. Frank asks if Josh Reynolds is a better start than MVS today. That's if you're in that boat, Frank. That's already telling of your situation. Valdez Scantling is expected to see Samuel Womack, who's allowed about 7 points per game, 2 cornerbacks. Dallas.
Is there any other option you could go with?
So here's the thing. Josh Reynolds is expected to see Anthony Brown, who allows about 13 points, but he's most likely going to end up on Trayvon Diggs because they don't have DJ Chark.
Yeah, right.
So he's probably going to also see severe coverage. I know he's going to get more looks. I would probably still play him over MVS. I don't trust Marquez Valdez-Scantling. And I think that Detroit's going to be in the game by throwing the ball. So I would go Josh Reynolds over MVS personally.
Yeah, I would too, unless you got another option. Then.
Yeah, I would hope you've got some other options. Fucking Franco. Ashton Davis, safety is questionable. The Philadelphia Eagles, they are on a bye this week. How did it end up with, like, there's 4 of the best teams in the league all on a bye this week?
I know, right?
Yeah, I know.
Everyone was like, we don't need good football this week.
Yeah, it makes it even easier for me to not care. Pittsburgh Steelers, Akello Weatherspoon is doubtful to play with a hamstring. Wide receiver Steven Stimms is out with a hamstring. Safety Devontae KZ out and put on the IR with his arm injury. Defensive end DeMarvin Leal placed on the IR with a knee injury. He was a pretty high-end draft pick, Leal was. San Francisco 49ers. Jason Verrett will not be activated. He's still out this week. Talanoa Hufanga, safety.
God bless you.
You're welcome. Questionable with concussion. Nah, Davis and Cup on a bye. Oh, Frank is hurt at receiver.
He needs a receiver.
You need a receiver! The crest of the road!
Christian Watson might be available.
He's also not playing. Frank, I tell you to pick up Sammy Watkins, but I believe my dad already did, so you can't even have him. Defensive end, Arik Armstead out with a foot injury. Charvarius Ward, questionable with a groin. Emmanuel Mosley, placed on the IR with a knee. Javon Kinlaw also on the IR. Seattle Seahawks, Isaiah Dunn placed on the IR with a hamstring. Tyler Lockett's questionable with a hamstring, is expected to play. Safety Joey Blount, questionable. Cornerback Sidney Jones is questionable with a groin injury, although they also might hold him out.
Sidney Jones?
Yeah, because there were talks that they were looking to trade him as well. Mm-hmm. Wide receiver Penny Hart is doubtful. Guard Gabe Jackson is doubtful. Cornerback Artie Burns is terrible, but also doubtful. Running back Travis Homer is placed on the IR. Cornerback Trey Brown is out. A lot of injuries in Seattle now, mounting up. Tampa Bay. Ooh. I mean, not that it matters because we don't really trust Tampa Bay's quarterbacks, but starting corner Carlton Davis is out this week.
Yeah.
Safety Mike Edwards is questionable. Defensive tackle Akeem Hicks is out with a foot. Other starting cornerback Sean Murphy Bunting is out with a quadricep injury. They're really banged
Yeah,
up.
it looks like their defense is pretty banged up.
Tight end Cameron Brate is out with a neck injury. Wide receiver Julio Jones is out yet again with a knee. Guard Shaq Mason is questionable. Safety Logan Ryan placed in the IR. The Tennessee Titans Nate Davis.
K-Dot in time, baby.
Who?
K-Dot in time, baby.
Hopefully, yeah. Tennessee Titans Nate Davis out with a foot. Linebacker Joe Jones out with a knee. Wide receiver Kyle Phillips is questionable with a hamstring. Linebacker Zach Cunningham out again with an elbow. Fullback Torrey Carter out with a neck. Ola Adeniyi is on the IR with an undisclosed injury. Wide receiver Racy McMath is on the IR with an undisclosed injury. Treylon Burks obviously been on the IR. And the Washington Commanders, or as Frank likes to call them, the Commies. Jahan Dotson is not in line to be active, so he's most likely not playing again this week. Ooh. The Rams put together almost the same exact offer as the Niners to acquire Christian McCaffrey.
Oh, yeah?
The Rams offered up a second, third, and fifth. The Niners had in the fourth round pick is what sealed the deal. Carson Wentz to the IR with his finger injury. Chase Young, his knee looks pretty good, and he had a meeting with the doctors. However, he's still out. Running back Jonathan Williams is out with a knee injury. William Jackson, cornerback, is out with a back injury. Diami Brown, wide receiver, he's out with a groin. Tight end John Bates is questionable with a hamstring. Logan Thomas is out yet again with a calf. You know what that means, Gary?
What does it mean?
We're firing up our favorite tight end from Washington.
Oh,
Nevada.
Cole Turner.
Fire up Cole Turner, baby.
Sometimes I forget he plays there just because they don't...
Well, he was hurt the first 4 weeks.
Yeah.
But yeah, that'll do it injury-wise, guys.
I could not get my nose to stop running.
Yeah, it's very stuffy, and I think the weather change again is killing people in Buffalo. What do you say we go over to some pick'ems?
Yep. I'm in.
Indianapolis Colts, Tennessee Titans.
The Titans.
Yeah, the Titans. The Colts are just going to continue to down spiral.
The Titans, for sure. New York Giants, Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jags are the 3-point favorite.
I picked the Giants just because they're on a good streak there. David knows what he's doing.
Who's the home team?
The Jags.
I think the Jags are going to win.
I'm going to go with the Giants again. Bucks and Panthers.
The Buccaneers.
Oh, yeah, the Bucks for sure.
I would play the Panthers with the spread, but the Bucks will win.
Yeah.
For some reason, Jason looks so tiny.
Maybe that's a good thing.
Tracy
Thanks.
Tomasulo.
Is it a good thing?
I think so. Although I feel like you're sitting taller than all of us, I think it's the camera's just off
I
level.
think it's just behind you guys a little bit too.
That's also the thing. You do look tiny on camera,
I
though.
do.
I don't think I trust Tom Brady to score.
No.
He's not been
No,
good.
yeah.
So, like,
I mean, they lost to Pittsburgh, right?
yes.
And Pittsburgh's banged up on defense.
Yes.
And hasn't been
So,
good
like,
on offense.
the fact that it's a 13-point spread, I would take Carolina in the points all day.
Yeah.
Like, to think Brady's got an in him to beat it. I know that Carolina's dinged up, but, like, their defense is still intact.
Right.
Right.
Green Bay Packers, Washington Commanders. Green Bay's a 4-point favorite.
Green Bay.
I don't know.
I'm going to go Washington just because I don't trust the Packers.
I like Washington, too.
Carson Wentz is banging.
And I never disliked Heineke. I think
Heineke's at least a credible backup.
I just think that Green Bay can pull it off against the backup quarterback.
You would think. I told Frank that if Green Bay loses here, it's time to burn all his jerseys. I will never do that. I'm a fan through and through. Frank.
Well, yeah, I guess.
The Detroit Lions and the Dallas Cowboys, and the Lions are a 7-point favorite.
I have the Cowboys.
Or the Cowboys are a 7-point favorite.
Cowboys should win this game.
I'm going with Detroit in an upset. I just don't know how to trust Dak coming off that injury on a throwing hand.
I could see them benching him if he's doing poor.
Yeah, but that's the thing. When is too little too late? When is too little too late? If you're struggling and you're down by 2 touchdowns, you need to put Cooper Rush in. Here's the thing. Cooper Rush is great if you're already winning. Cooper Rush, if you're losing and you have to win from behind, I don't trust him. I'm going to go Detroit in the upset. Atlanta and Cincinnati.
It's a good one.
Atlanta played good last week, but I don't see that
Cincinnati
being a consistent thing. I think Cincy should win.
Outright win, I've got Cincy winning. However, if we're talking like spreads again, I would take Atlanta. Atlanta plus 6.5. I don't see... Cincinnati has not had the killer instinct to put games away.
They're Super Bowl frauds. Like, they should not have made the Super Bowl last year. They kind of got lucky with a bunch of teams that
don't you talk ill of the Bengals fans.
I don't dislike...
If they could read, they'd be very upset with what you're saying.
Skyline Chili.
Listen, you're not upset about that.
No. I think that Cincy should win here, but I think they're fraud.
Cleveland Browns, Baltimore Ravens.
The Ravens.
Ooh.
So this is another tough one because it's a divisional game. I don't trust the Ravens because they can't close games as well, but I really don't trust the Browns.
I don't trust the Browns.
Ravens are going to go up early and then blow it again.
I think I said that on the air to Frank. I actually think I called it that because the Ravens are not good against the run.
No.
I had Nick Chubb scoring 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter for the Browns to win.
I can see it.
But I'm going to say the Ravens for the factor, like, I do think the Ravens probably win this game. New York Jets, Denver Broncos.
I got the Broncos, or not the Broncos. I got the Jets winning this one.
I also have the Jets winning this one.
The Jets should win this one.
The Jets should poo-poo on them.
Mm-hmm. So,
not to mention, the Broncos are really bad against running backs.
I had the Jets winning before Russell Wilson was out.
You know what that means, right? Fire up Breece Hall and Michael Carter, baby!
I have both.
I know you do. That's why I'm saying fire them up. Houston Texans, Las Vegas Raiders.
The Raiders.
The Raiders should destroy them.
Kick them.
Yeah, the Raiders
into the
should
dirt.
win.
Seattle Seahawks, LA Chargers. Chargers by a mile.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Chargers should win here. It'd be nice to see the Chargers
get back in a rhythm.
Start competing to knock the Chiefs out of that number 1 seed there.
KC Chiefs, San Francisco 49ers.
The Chiefs, unfortunately.
The Chiefs are only 1-point favorite, and I don't know
Who's
why.
the home team?
The Niners.
That's probably the.
I was gonna say the Chiefs play bad at home. What time's the game at?
4:25.
The Chiefs play better in home. So I did a lot of
Mm-hmm.
research, recently on the Chiefs. They play better away, but also really good in prime time. So I don't know if you consider the 4 o'clock
No.
the prime time. I'm going to go
Technically, it's 1 o'clock. It's a 1 o'clock game on the West Coast.
I'm going to go with the Niners.
I'm going to go with the Chiefs just because I don't trust Jimmy Garoppolo.
I don't.
But
Jimmy Garoppolo and just the rest of that.
Brandon Ayuk has a game.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh Steelers, Miami Dolphins.
Dolphins.
I'd love to see the Steelers upset them,
I would too.
but I think it's the Dolphins.
I think the Dolphins will win, but like I said, like you guys said, I think it'd be awesome to see Pittsburgh upset. Send them more into Spider-Man.
Fox says you boys look a little foggy. Fox, I'm seeing fog. Chicago Bears, New England Patriots.
The Bears.
That'll be the Pats.
Yeah, it's going to be New England. I like the Bears. The Bears are my second team, but they're just not good right now.
I think that'll about do it, though, guys.
Is that the Monday night game?
Yep.
Really?
Yep.
Gross. Who picks the schedule?
I don't know.
They do it by like division and stuff. They rotate the divisions you're supposed to play, and like
Yeah,
that
but
might be their extra game.
You usually put better teams on Monday Night Football.
Yeah, but that might be their. That might be like.
I could have told you New England's not a Monday Night Football team.
Because
I could have told you the Bears are not going to be one of the.
Because we don't play. We don't play that division, do we? Like the Bills, we don't play the Bears.
Yeah.
We do.
Yeah.
Okay, so that might be their extra game, like our LA game.
No, we got that division. It's AFCs versus NFC North.
Okay.
Because we have the Packers and we've got Detroit on Thanksgiving.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, we got the Bears late season. That should just be. After the first 6 games, the Bills have like the easiest schedule.
Yeah,
in
I
the
saw
league.
that.
We've got Minnesota. That might be the toughest game left in our schedule.
That might be a tough one.
But I actually think I'd rather face Minnesota than Detroit. I think Minnesota's frauds.
Yeah.
Ooh. Guys, I think if you're good, I think I'll do it. We can close up early today.
Yeah.
Had a little fan interaction. We didn't have much. Guys, thank you for jumping on. We'll probably be more with it next weekend. We can probably do that here again.
Yeah, because we're Sunday night.
It's a Sunday night game, and then I'll be over there building at the Tiki all day. So
Yeah.
But guys, that'll do it. Thank you for jumping on. Gary, Jason, anything you guys want to say?
No, always just thanks for watching.
All right.
Have a good weekend. Enjoy some.
Hopefully you win on your parlays.
And may your fantasy team win.
Until next time, guys, you keep on looking for those fantasy beasts. We'll show you exactly where